Hey guys, welcome to Wonder Wednesday. Come on in. I am Tara. I'm a registered nurse, a fitness and nutrition coach. I almost forgot what to say there. A fitness and nutrition coach and a registered nurse, and I come to you live every Wednesday to bring you something that I hope is valuable to you. Something about health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, something that's going to help you with your journey. So come on in. If you are catching this live, drop a live in the comments so I can say hello. And if you are coming back to watch the replay, please type replay so I can come back after the fact and say hi and thank you for watching the video. Okay, so I want you to picture this. Picture your dream house. Okay, maybe it's what you live in right now. Awesome. Maybe it's something you aspire to have in the future, but picture your dream house with all its beautiful furnishings and decorations, paintings, whatever you have in your house. When you close your eyes, it just makes you kind of melt into the place and love to come home to it. Now, I want you to picture having all those furnishings, and then right over on the couch, you have that fleecy kind of cheap blanket that you got at Shea Stadium in 2002, maybe around there. No, was it Shea Stadium still in 2002? We'll say 1995, Shea Stadium, Mets blanket. You signed up for a credit card and you got a fleece blanket. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And if it's not Mets, then maybe you have Jets, Giants, whatever. You know those blankets I'm talking about. Now, if you have your dream home and it looks like something straight out of a magazine, would you want that blanket, bear with me, I'm getting somewhere here, over your gorgeous new couch? I keep looking this way because my couch is over there. Okay, I know for me the answer is no, right? So when you fill your home up with gorgeous, beautiful things that make you really happy and bring you joy, you don't want that other junky stuff around. Am I right? All right, so Tara, what's the point? Well, the same is true for your body. When you fill up your body with lots of quality, delicious food, you are not going to want the junk nearly as much. I promise you, okay? I just ran my 10-day reset last week we ended, and that's what people were saying. The sugar cravings were gone. So besides physiologically the things that happened, why their sugar cravings disappeared, there was also that mental kind of shift, that mindset shift, that when they're filling their body with all these delicious, nourishing foods, they just didn't want to ruin it by eating a Twinkie or something like that. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about being able to lose weight through the lens of eating more food, adding food on. So I'm not telling you what not to eat today. Today we're going to go the opposite way completely, and we're going to talk about what you should eat more of. So if you're joining me live, please say live in the comments, and if you're watching the replay, please say replay right in the comments there. All right, so inside my group this week, I've got a private Facebook group called Lean In with Tara Allen Health. And inside the group, we're doing a kitchen clean out. So we're going through our pantry, we're going through the freezer, we're going through the fridge, and we're getting rid of things that are expired, things that are full of ingredients that aren't serving us. You know, maybe you'll find something that's moldy in there, I don't know. But we're getting rid of the things that aren't necessarily good for us, and we are restocking it with things that are going to help us to stay on track and be healthy. So part of what we're restocking our shelves and our pantry, our freezer and all of that with are these foods that I'm talking about today, and I want to share it with you today. So how do we crowd out the bad stuff by eating the good stuff? What kind of good stuff am I talking about? Well, first of all, if you have ever heard of this thing called the bliss point, I want you to give me like one of those hands up people. Have you ever heard of something called a bliss point? It's a term used in food manufacturing. Hi Cheryl, thanks for joining. In food manufacturing, there's this thing called a bliss point. And this is a predetermined set point of sweetness, saltiness, and kind of mouthfeel. Usually has a lot of fat, not necessarily the good kind of fat. And it's called the bliss point because it's that point that they're able to trick our taste buds into needing more and more and more of that item. So this is a lot of prepackaged foods, a lot of that processed food, a lot of the fast food, that type of thing. So what we want to do is kind of push out these items, these processed foods, with really good, healthy, high quality food, and you will find that your taste buds will start to adapt pretty quickly, actually. This is not something that takes months to do. Your taste buds will start to adapt pretty quickly. So it actually, those highly processed foods with the bliss points, they kind of hijacked our taste buds, and they make it harder for you to taste. And if you can get rid of that and just start eating real whole foods, your taste buds will start to come back again. And in fact, one trick for this too is just whatever you want to eat, whatever you eat today, eat slowly. So if you normally take 10 minutes to eat a meal, try to take 15 or 20 minutes to eat a meal. Chew a little bit more, take some time, take some breaths, and notice the texture and the taste of your foods. What's really interesting about doing this is that foods that are processed and kind of junky usually taste much worse when we eat them slowly. You could taste the chemicals, you can kind of feel all that really nasty processed fat, in there. And foods that are really healthy for us, the real food, the whole foods, usually taste better when we chew slowly. So that's what we're going to try to do. So you're going to try to choose high quality superfoods as much as possible. So what kind of foods are these? Well, I'm talking about vegetables, right? Eat lots and lots and lots of vegetables. I know I'm not the only person to tell you to eat vegetables. Your mama probably taught you to eat vegetables, and probably, I don't know, your doctor and the magazines and everything else. And there's a reason for this. No matter if you follow somebody who is an expert in paleo or vegan or the blue zones, which are these zones of longevity all around the world, really no matter who you talk to, the one thing that's in common is everybody promotes eating non-starchy vegetables as much as possible. So I'm not talking about the eat your 5 a day, which is like 3 veggies and 2 fruits. If you're starting with nothing, then go there. That's obviously an improvement. But ultimately, you want to work up to having a half to 2/3 of your plate at every meal filled with different colored vegetables, the non-starchy vegetables. You can eat as much of the stuff as you want. And if you do this, you will notice that you have much less in the way of cravings, your hunger is taken down, your satiety is raised almost immediately, your body is getting flooded with all the nutrients it wants. It also has fiber, and it also has the fluid which is inside of these vegetables. So, oops, sorry about that. So try that. Just try it. Don't tell yourself that you're going to take anything out today, tomorrow, whatever day you want to try this experiment, but just eat more slowly and add more vegetables and just see what happens. It'll be like an experiment day. Next, you're going to want to add the starchy vegetables in too. So these you want to do in kind of smaller portions, not just as much as you want, but this is like the butternut squash and potatoes, sweet potatoes, spaghetti squash, things like that. So you want those in your diet. They also have lots of fiber. They bring lots of phytonutrients, which are all the different colors. So you definitely want them in your diet, but just make sure they're smaller portions than the other vegetables. Hi, Joni. Thanks for joining. That's all right. You're late. That's okay. You can always go back and watch the replay. We are talking about crowding out the junk food and processed food by just adding more of the real healthy foods. It's good. So we talked about adding non-starchy vegetables as much as you want, right? Starchy vegetables, you want to do some, but not tons and tons and tons. Of course, this also depends on you and your goals and your health status, right? So if you're somebody with diabetes, you're going to have to do a little bit less of the starchy vegetables. If you're somebody who wants to lose 200 pounds, you're going to have to do less of the starchy vegetables too. So you have to take a little bit of this and kind of customize it to you, or reach out to me so I can help you customize it too. Okay, so fruit. So you want to eat a variety of fruit, mostly the ones that are lower in sugar, the ones that don't spike your blood sugar quite as much. I would say if I had to pick the best fruit out there for you health-wise, hands down, it would be blueberries. The dark colors that are inside of blueberries are so amazing for your health. They're really, really good for you. So blueberries would be a good thing to add. I just had a green smoothie this morning. I threw some blueberries in. It made it kind of like a purpley green smoothie, but it was delicious. So have some blueberries. I like to get a big bag of organic ones from one of the big box stores, or even a lot of the supermarkets have it. You can buy it organic and a big bag in the freezer so they don't go bad. Okay, so protein. Make sure you're having protein with all of your meals, at least 3 times a day spread out throughout the day. I want you to have a good size amount of protein. A good size for you would be about the size of, I should do it this way, about the size of your palm. The size, the thickness, all of that about your palm, and that is a good amount of protein to have with every meal. If you are counting, you want upwards of 20 to 30 grams at least with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's a lot. If you're looking and you realize that your packet of oatmeal has like 4 grams, don't be dismayed, don't be discouraged. You can always just start adding a little bit here and there to work up to where you want to be. But eventually you do want to get those doses, those bigger doses of protein at a time, because it takes a certain threshold of protein in order for your body to start the recovery process, recover your muscles. Especially if you're working out hard, you need that protein. But even if you're not working out hard, protein is used by your entire body to heal itself. It's used by your gut lining. So if you've got any kind of GI issues going on, or food sensitivities, or your microbiome needs some help, you need that protein also just to heal. Guys, by the way, if you are enjoying these videos, I would really appreciate it if you share it out to your friends, to your family, post it on your page, because I'm trying to reach whoever I can reach to help. And especially with the latest Facebook algorithms, the views, the amount of people that my videos get in front of and everybody's videos are just kind of decreasing and decreasing. So the more that you can help me out by leaving comments, leaving hearts, and sharing, I would really appreciate that. Hi, Kristen, thanks for joining. So, all right, so we said we're gonna add in lots and lots of non-starchy veggies. We're gonna add in some starchy veggies, right? All different colors. We're going to add in fruit, especially different colors of fruit. You really want to think about the rainbow all the time. You want your diet to be very, very colorful. We're going to add in protein, so at least 3 nice servings of protein a day. And you want to add in healthy fats. So a serving of fat is the size of, anyone want to guess? I feel like Joni will know this answer. A serving of healthy fat is the size of, I should do multiple choice. Is it A, the size of your head? Is it B, the size of your fist? Or is it C, the size of your thumb? I know my comments are delayed too. I don't know if any of you answered. All right, the answer is it's unfortunately C, the size of your thumb. So a serving of healthy fat is this big. So this, oh, tablespoon, yes. Yes, Kristen, thank you, tablespoon. Which is funny because a lot of times when you look up, up hummus or nut butters or things like that, they say that the serving size is 2 tablespoons. So they double it right off the bat. Thumb, yes, Jody, I knew you would get it. So B, Cheryl, yes, fist would be great. I would love to be able to have it the size of your fist. And it can be over the course of a day. It probably adds up to about a fist. But for each meal, if you want to try to stick to the size of your thumb, that's ideal. I said them but spelt it wrong. I know what you meant, Joni. So it's the size of your thumb. So think about nuts in this category. Think about olive oil in this category. Hummus, nut butters, avocado. Okay, who has an avocado slice that's that big? The other thing you could do is if you have a little bit more at one meal, you can also tone it back at another. So if you want to have 1/3 to 1/2 of an avocado in one meal, maybe your next meal you don't need so much. But you want to be sticking to lots and lots of plant-based healthy fats. So nuts, avocados, olive oil. Avocado oil is good too. Coconut oil, coconut shreds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds. All of these things are really good plant-based fats. Okay, specifically for one type of fat, you might have heard of omega-3s. And if you're going to go plant-based with that, flax seeds and walnuts have the highest concentration of that. There's a whole nother thing with whether your body is able to then take it from the plant-based form and move it over to DHA, which is where it should end up. So that's a whole nother story for another day. If you guys are interested, you could reach out to me, ask me whatever questions you have. But there is something to be said for eating your fish or taking your fish oil if you are plant-based, if you're a vegetarian like I am. Okay, so we're talking about the fats, right? And so yes, is there a place for animal fat? If you are not a vegetarian, or if you are a vegetarian but you have eggs or dairy or whatever, that's okay. This is not a discussion about that. Some animal fats is okay, right? And some animal fats is actually could be part of a healthy diet if you tone back the other inflammatory things in your diet. So if you're like having tons of sugar and processed foods, and then you're also throwing lots of animal fat in there, that's kind of like a recipe for disaster inside your body. Tons of inflammation. And inflammation is pretty much every chronic health problem you can imagine, weight gain, hormone problems, all of that. So we don't want to do that. If you make a conscious decision to eat more real, healthy, whole foods, and you want to include animal proteins, animal fats in there, that's okay. Saturated fat is actually can be really good for us. In fact, one quick little thing, I don't know if you guys know, but breast milk, the fat that's inside of breast milk is actually 50% saturated, which is, you know, that's Mother Nature, that's, if you're spiritual, whatever, somebody designed it to be that way on purpose, right? So I don't think they got it wrong. We need that for our brains. We need that to create the hormones that we have. It's not necessarily a bad thing. So having some eggs would be fine. If you're having full fat dairy, but you're keeping it to a small portion, that could be okay too, if you can tolerate it. I do want to mention that dairy does tend to be a bit inflammatory for many, many people, even if you don't believe that you're lactose intolerant or anything. So dairy, along with gluten and soy, tend to be the first things that I suggest people just experiment on removing from their diet if they're having some health issues or weight loss that they can't get, weight issues that they can't help, you know. So if you have some stubborn weight that you can't get off, that would be one of the things I would suggest that you eliminate also. Hey Jen, thanks for joining us. So all right, so that's a lot about healthy fats, right? Other things is like herbs and spices, you know, turmeric and cinnamon and cilantro and basil, all of these things, especially if you think again about a spectrum of different colors, those things are really, really good for us too. So add that into our food. You know, the flavors will help to fill us up and satisfy us too, because we're not just eating bland food. So your body knows that you've put some food into your system. And plus, those herbs and spices themselves have a lot of health benefits. Hey Jen. So Jen, we're talking about how to crowd out the junk food by adding more healthy, delicious, real food into it. So I want to sum up anyway. So we started with non-starchy vegetables. So lots and lots and lots of those non-starchy vegetables. We're going to do starchy vegetables too, but smaller portions. So these are your sweet potatoes, things like that. Fruit, you want in a little bit, in limited quantity, and I mentioned that the best one for your health, if I had to pick one, would be blueberries. Protein, you want protein at least 3 times a day in a nice decent quantity, like 20 to 30 grams, or you can just stick to the size of your palm for most protein sources. 3 times a day is ideal, and that's the type of thing that you do need several times a day, because we can't I'm not going to get into that with protein, but you need it a couple times a day. Every several hours, like every 4 hours or so, you need another hit of protein to best heal your body from the inside out. And then healthy fats. We said healthy fat is the size of your thumb. So if you stick to that, but you have it a little bit with every meal, it's going to not only make your food taste more delicious, but it's also going to help with your hormones and balancing things out and losing weight with that. So the tips that I talked about today, guys, was specifically targeted for if you want to lose weight or if you want to lose fat, because you might be at an ideal weight, but you think you've got more fat on your body than you'd like, and you'd like to change your body composition. So all of these tips are great for that. but it's also great for more than that. It's great if you just want to feel great. It's great if you want to decrease inflammation. It's great if you want to slow down the aging process. That's what's awesome about eating this way, is when you're incorporating more real healthy foods into your diet, it kind of spreads itself out and goes into every aspect of your life. You're going to have better moods. You're going to be, a better spouse. You're going to be more patient with your kids because you're going to feel more confident. You're going to have more energy, all that stuff. You can't help but to let this leak out into other areas of your life. So just try it. Try eating slowly. Try adding this extra food in. Don't tell yourself that you can't have anything, and just see what happens. Maybe you'll find too that your cravings disappear. Maybe you'll find that you're not quite as hungry for that junk food. And maybe you'll find, like I talked about in the beginning, that you are kind of walking around like your body's a temple and you don't want to put that junk in your food, in your body, right? So if you've just sat down to this delicious meal of roasted vegetables with some olive oil drizzled on it, you've got a nice portion of protein, whatever you eat, if it's your meat, if it's a bunch of beans, whatever you like to eat, you've got your sweet potatoes, maybe a nice dessert of like coconut yogurt with cacao powder so it tastes kind of chocolatey. You put a little stevia or maple syrup in there, mix it around, sprinkle some nuts, and that's your dessert. After all that, who would want to sit there and put like a Twinkie in their body? I don't know many people who would want to, right? Because you don't want to ruin all that goodness that just happened. So take a day or two or the rest of the week, whatever you want, experiment with this and see what happens. And please, please come back and tell me, because I do all of this because I get such a kick out of hearing from you guys when you are making progress and seeing results and feeling so much better. So the only thing I ask is that you share this with whoever you think wants to hear, and please come back and let me know how it works for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.